Good morning, everyone. This is with Stu Ellis with his report on this morning on back roads of Illinois. Make sure to subscribe to my podcast for this morning. Here's Stu Ellis with his report. Here's Stu Ellis with his report.
Hello again, everyone. This is Stu Ellis, swinging open the farm gate for you once again today. Well, the biofuels industry sees the Environmental Protection Agency's approach to spurring electric vehicles as a top-down approach versus a free market one. The Renewable Fuels Association's Chief Executive Officer, Jeff Cooper, says it's fighting an uphill battle against the EPA and its proposed tailpipe emission standard. But the agency insists on favoring electric vehicles with no tailpipe. He says the only way to restore fairness to the rule is to ensure that all emissions associated with these vehicles are being counted. Cooper says that includes emissions from electricity generation and mining the critical materials that make electronic batteries. Asked if EPA's done those calculations, he says, well, EPA hadn't done much of their own work on that topic, but there's plenty of academic literature out there on the subject. One of his colleagues in the biofuels industry is Emily Skor of Growth Energy. That's the nation's largest biofuels trade association, and it recently submitted comments to the EPA on its proposed tailpipe emission standards for light and medium duty vehicles for model years 2027 through 2032, which is really the flashpoint area. And SCORE says the proposal is too narrow in scope. He says this proposal is unnecessarily narrow, presenting a false choice between only two paths forward, either fossil fuel only vehicles or mass adoption of electric vehicles. Neither outcome reflects reality, and the EPA's framework ignores the proven, available, and American-made solution of emissions reducing biofuels. He says the liquid fuel vehicles aren't going away anytime soon. Internal combustion engine vehicles will be on the road for decades to come, and we need liquid fuels to power them. And the more oil we displace in those fuels with bio-based alternatives, the greater the economic and environmental benefit. The proposed possibility leaves potential carbon reductions in limbo. EPA's final standard, she says, must reflect the entire life cycle analysis of all technologies. Doing anything less determines, rather undermines American ingenuity, innovation, and leaves carbon emissions reductions on the table. National Corn Growers Association submitted comments to the EPA regarding its proposed emission standards. Corn growers calling on the agency to open pathways for all low carbon fuels and technologies as it finalizes its multi-pollutant emission standard for light and medium duty vehicles. Tom Haig, president of the National Corn Growers, says for automakers to use new technologies and enhanced engines to meet stringent standards, they need updated fuel that enables new vehicles and fuels to work as a system to enhance greenhouse gases and other tailpipe reductions. EPA's movement toward electric vehicles really threatens the biofuels industry. And if that's the case, there will be a market for ethanol and biodiesel in other nations, according to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. That organization says demand for first generation biofuel feedstocks is expected to grow slowly over the next 10 years. Most additional biofuel use of agricultural crops is expected to occur in India and Indonesia, driven by increasing transport fuel use and higher biofuel blending requirements. And the FAO says in other key markets, such as the European Union, the demand for first generation biofuel feedstocks is expected to decrease due to a decline in transportation fuel use and a shift to other feedstocks. Overall, the biofuel share of global sugarcane and vegetable oil use is projected to increase, while the biofuel share of corn is expected to decline. Interesting. Let's look at our Farmgate blog view. This is Stu Ellis. Thanks so much for listening.
Thanks, Stu, for your report on this morning. I am sorry for technical issues with the news. The commodity markets is mixed bag for this week. Because of this weather, markets we have a good rain on Wednesday night. Thanks for listening to Back Roads of Illinois podcast. You've been listening to Back Roads of Illinois. I am Cesar Delgado. Have a great weekend.